Going over the team that I used to probably qualify for Players Cup 4. I kind of cut it really close, but I think it's fine. So, in the IC, I hit a rating of 1656, and this was yesterday. I checked about an hour ago, and my current standing is around 610-ish, which means overnight, around 12 hours, I dropped like I don't know, 230 places, right? So that means, and there's only like, at the time of recording this, there's only like 7 more hours left in the IC, right? That means I should drop around another 150 places. Because this is on day 3, and most people should have finished their battles already. So if I drop around another 150 places, right, I should be like 790, 800 at worst, right? And since around 256 from each region qualify, I'm not going to count Oceania because it's a lot easier to qualify from there. So assume that there's 3 regions and there's 256 that qualify from each region, right? That means you should be in the top 760. But this IC is also used to qualify for Japan nationals, right? And Japanese players can't play in the Players' Cup. This means there should be an influx of Japanese players near the top. I will assume around 100. So if you're in the top 850, you should be pretty safe. And if you're in the top 800, I think that's a good place to aim for. So I think this 1656 should be fine. We also played 21 battles and we finished 17-4, which I feel like for 17-4, I really wish I was like 1660 something or 1670, but we lost to some like really low ranked player, so it happens. But I think this should be enough of a rating. So let's go over the team that I used. So I used the standard Zacian plus Colossal team. I thought Colossal setting of Vocalith is really good when paired with Zacian. Zacian does not have Imprison, but I thought this was really cool that Zacian learns Imprison. My friend Aiden was like someone lost to an imprisoned Zacian. I thought that was hilarious. So I was like, I'll just throw it on here because I was like, I want to test this out on Showdown. And also, when I put Imprison, I was like, if I don't have Substitute anymore, I'll probably just replace Sacred Sword with Close Combat. But no, in the IC, I had a Sacred Sword and Substitute. Because Substitute, Sacred Sword, Protect, Behemoth Blade is the best Zacian in my opinion. So when EVing my Zacian, I knew I wanted Max Speed Jolly. And the reason I want Max Speed Jolly is because Zacian is such a common Pokemon. It's actually, I think it's like 30% usage for a restricted, which is insane. And for something that's that common, you want to be able to at least force a speed tie. Then, I wanted to determine how much attack investment to put into Zacian. So, let's look at Zacian custom set. I hope my thing is in here. Okay, good. Not Dynamax. And so, the first calc I looked at was Calyrex Ice. This is showed up. Okay, let's put this at level 50. I mean, it doesn't really matter. So, with this attack investment, you're able to always OHKO Calyrex Ice. Wait, I'm so confused. Oh, okay, because I calced for a 4 defense. Yeah. Yeah, so my calc for Calyrex Ice was 252 and 4 defense. I always wanted to OHKO it with Zacian, and you only needed 156 attack. Also, another calc that I did is on other Zacian. Let's just go to, I hope one of them's like max HP, right? Yeah. So on the max HP Zacian, if you see later on in the team, we have something that learns Helping Hand. I wanted to pretty much always OHKO other Zacian with Helping Hand Behemoth Blade, and I think this was fine. I could have put a bit more attack investment, but I was okay with this. Like 93.8% odds on a Pokemon that normally doesn't run max HP, I thought that was pretty safe. So, and also because I have Vocalith on my team, so I felt like like this was fine. And then the rest of the investment, I just split into HP and 4 in the defenses. Also, another calc that I wanted to do with Helping Hand. Helping Hand plus Zacian is just broken, by the way. At level 50, you have a pretty good chance to OHKO Dynamax Thundurus. The reason I didn't put more investment to always OHKO is because I felt like some Dynamax Thundurus might want to run some bulk for certain things. And also, this is something that you should EV for on your Thundurus, so I felt like 75% chance when I have Vocalith, when I still have, if you see later on, I still have Aqua Jet on Blastoise, which should chip this enough. So yeah, I felt like 156 attack was enough. You could go more, you could go less, but I felt like I wanted some bulk on Zacian, and the reason you want some bulk on Zacian is because its defense stats are so high to the point where even if you put a little bit of bulk, the bulk is going to come a long way. because of the defense stats are so high. So with Zacian, let's move on to the Colossal combo. So the reason I use Blastoise over Urshifu Rapid Strike is because when you're using Zacian, Zacian isn't that good into like those really bulky steel types like Metagross, Solgaleo, that kind of stuff, and Dialga, even Dialga, right? Because Dialga's gonna like it has a positive matchup into you. So for all that kind of stuff, I really want an Urshifu Single Strike. And if I'm gonna use Urshifu Single Strike, I can't use Rapid Strike to proc Colossal. So I was gonna use another Mon to proc Colossal, and this is where the Blastoise came in play. So this Blastoise is max HP, max defense with Wakanberry, and it's a really supporty set. Also, instead of Torrent, I had Rain Dish because Blastoise comes to the Rain matchup and it was actually really good. So this has Aqua Jet, Yawn, Helping Hand, and Scald. So Yawn is our way to deal with a lot of Trick Room stuff because if you look at her team, it's not really good in Trick Room, but I can force switches through Yawn, and then if I position some of my offensive Pokemon really well, like Zacian and Urshifu, then I can just max Urshifu and start cleaning, which is what happened in the first game. So yeah. And then Scald is there just to force Scald Burn. It's a pretty good move. Also, Blastoise G-Max. So in a lot of games, I wouldn't even bring Colossal, right? I'd bring Blastoise and I'd G-Max it just to get the Cannonade going. Because if I get Cannonade going, then Zacian is so good. Also, Helping Hand plus Zacian is really good. Another thing I really like about Blastoise is that it covers for a lot of Colossal's weaknesses, right? Like Colossal doesn't like taking on Landorus, that kind of stuff, and Blastoise is really good versus it. So you can just leave Blastoise Colossal, and Blastoise does well into it, right? So you can just sack off Colossal, get the Vocalith up, and then something like Urshifu's gonna come in, and Urshifu plus Blastoise, I can just click Helping Hand and like Wicked Blow everything, and it's really safe plays. Which is why I really like Blastoise. It matches up well into whatever most things that Colossal and Zacian are not good against. But it also supports Colossal through the Aqua Jet. It supports Blastoise and my other offensive attackers through Helping Hand, and Yawn is really good. And also the Cannonade support is really good for Zacian, even Urshifu and all that. So yeah, I felt like this Blastoise was a really good procer, and it allows me to use Urshifu Single Strike, which again is something that I really needed. Because I did not want to go Rapid Strike and not have Single Strike, and I felt like this Blastoise is a really good procer. So yeah, and then for investment, I just put max defense because let's do the calc. So for any special attack, like most special attacks are either gonna two-shot us, and like electric attacks, there's really no point in putting a special defensive investment. So let's go to Blastoise G-Max, custom set, not Helping Hand boosted, and what calc? Oh yeah, Landorus. So Landorus with Max Quake. This was the best roll I could get with Blastoise. Yeah, that's why I put max defense. And I really need, and actually in the IC, I actually survived 2 Max Quakes from Landorus, which was really epic. So yeah. This is why the defense is there. Also, the defense is there because most things in this meta are physical, and I felt like I wanted to take also Zacian. Let's do this other calc. This 50. Yeah, like also most Zacian I've seen don't really carry us close combat because you should have Sacred Sword on Zacian, and then Zacian can never two-shot. He also gives you a lot of bulk. So overall, I felt like max defense Blastoise was the best call with Wakanberry. Wakanberry in the Rain matchup, if they lead like Kyogre plus Tornadus, you can easily just go for Max Guard plus Yawn with Colossal, and you really don't have to worry about taking Max Lightning and them reading into you. In case this is a best of 3, right? Say they read into you and go for Max Lightning, right? Just to stop the Yawn. It still allows Blastoise to get Colossal activated, hit the Kyogre, and then you get Rillaboom in, and it should kill from there, even if Kyogre maxes. So yeah, this is the reason we have Wakanberry. The other item I was considering was Rindoberry, and that has its benefits too, but I felt like Wakanberry was just way better. So let's go to the Colossal. Very basic, right? Heat Wave, Meteor Beam, Solar Beam. We have Solar Beam here because it does Oko Kyogre if Kyogre doesn't max, and I felt like that was okay. Also, if we cannot. Also, I didn't see a need for Earth Power on this. I felt like Solar Beam was just overall the better move to run on Colossal. We put max speed timid again because Colossal is somewhat common, right? And we don't want our Colossal to be outsped. And I felt like most people try to run Modest for the extra damage, but I was like, the speed is way more important, right? Because at least I can force a speed tie. I felt like that was way more important. Because again, since it's a common Pokemon, I want it to be max speed timid. Originally, I had 212 speed to outspeed base 100s in Tailwind, but then I was like, no, I'm just gonna go 252, 252, because again, the speed is really important. Then, originally on this team, so I have Rillaboom to take on Rain. Let's go over Urshifu. So Urshifu's just the really basic set. Again, it covers a lot of weaknesses on this team really well. Again, it covers for Zacian really well. It also covers for Colossal pretty well. So the combination of Urshifu Blastoise covers for Zacian Colossal pretty well. And in a lot of games, people would lead their Zacian slash Colossal counters, and I would just lead Urshifu plus Blastoise, click Helping Hand, and try to blow stuff back. So yeah, this is why I feel like Urshifu Blastoise really good, and then Rillaboom again for the Rain matchup. But let's look at these EVs. So we need Fake Out, we need Grassy Glide. I want U-Turn to pivot, and then High Horsepower is there to hit. So it hit Zacian for like it two-shot Zacian, which I thought was really important again, right? Because we don't have that much damage into Zacian. It also Max Quake also OHKOs Regieleki. I mean Dynamax Regieleki, and this high horsepower does a ton to Regieleki, which I felt like was really really important. Also, Rillaboom switches into like Max Geysers and that kind of stuff really well, and Rillaboom with this investment, so we have 196 attack, and also I feel like this is the best Rillaboom spread. So if you ever want to use a Rillaboom, here you go. Actually, wait, where is it? Custom set? I hope this is not the one. Oh, shoot. Oh, wait, because you have to put Gigantamax, right? Okay. So let's go to Gigantamax here. Custom set. Now, first of all, a two-shot Zacian, which is really important. And we also take Behemoth Blade. This is Adamant Behemoth Blade, so yeah. I did calc for that just to make sure, even though I was like really sure we take it. Also, why is this level 53? Oh, it's level 53 because when I was training this in game, the Rillaboom I got from Austin was level 53, so I was making sure if the stats are perfect. Yeah, Austin's like my Mon provider. He literally gave me 3 out of 6 Mons to train up in game. So yeah. Oh yeah, we do take Behemoth Blade. It's actually 50%, but I feel like Adamant Zacian, you really shouldn't run Adamant Zacian unless you have Whimsicott. I feel like I can read into that, so it's fine. Okay. So, what were we looking at? Oh, Kyogre. Dang. So, is this level? Oh, it's level 60. I was like, there's no way. Yeah, so Kyogre with 4 defense almost always gets O-code. I wanted to put more attack, but there's another calc that was really important. I don't remember exactly what Regieleki this was, but hopefully it was the Life Orb one. So, we take 2 Life Orb Max Lightnings from Regieleki, and you might be like, this is only 46. I could have just put Max into bulk to take on Zacian, right? But it changes terrain and then it's gonna do more. Which is why the combination, like you look at this, it's 46 max, right? And then the next one is 59, which means 46 plus 59 is around like 103, right? But, so it should be fine most of the time. And also, Regieleki isn't commonly Life Orb Modest, like it's usually like Magnet Modest or like Sash Timid or something like that. You should be running Timid Regieleki, so I felt like this was a pretty safe calc. And also, it doesn't always OHKO it doesn't always two-shot anyways, and I felt like that was really important because I can switch Rillaboom into a Max Lightning, and then U-turn out and get momentum, and then Rillaboom still comes in late game to click like Grassy Glide or Fake Out support. So yeah, I felt like this was really important. This is also the best Rillaboom for this meta in my opinion, so if you ever want to use it, you can just slap this onto any team. So, also Rillaboom, you can just Helping Hand and Max Rillaboom, which is really good. But now, for the last mon, I originally had Thundurus, right? Because Thundurus Zacian is really good. But I realized that Thundurus at +1 speed does not outspeed Venusaur. And this is a problem because even if I run Lumberry Thundurus, they can just Sleep Powder twice if they have Koba Venusaur. Which, you either should be running Screens with Venusaur, like Screens Grimmsnarl, or run Koba Berry. So, to combat this, and also my Sun matchup's kind of bad, right? So, to combat all this, I replaced Thundurus with Drago Pull. Now, Dragapult is a lot better outside of Max than Thundurus. It gives me Will-O-Wisp. And also, again, I ran max speed because, like, I really didn't see any reason to run any bulk. Also, just in case I see another Dragapult, I don't want to underspeed another Dragapult because Dragapult beats Dragapult. This thing has Lumberry again to take the Sleep Powder, and once you Airstream, both Zacian and Dragapult are faster than Venusaur, which I felt like was really important. And also, if you Airstream, then Dragapult's faster than Kyogre. It's not faster than Palkia in Tailwind or like base 100s, but I felt like that was fine. Like it outspeeds Landorus in Tailwind at +1. Same with Zacian. So I felt like having this really fast Dragapult allowed me to have some sort of countermeasure versus Tailwind, right? Because most people either run Trick Room or they run their own Tailwind to counter Tailwind. For me, I have Colossal, which is faster than most things in Tailwind. And then I have Dragapult, which with Airstream, Dragapult and Zacian are faster than most things in Tailwind. Dragapult can also Will-O-Wisp, which is really useful. Dragon Darts is really good. Now, in the IC, I saw, not in the IC, in Players Cup 3, I saw someone use a Dragapult that was faster than Zacian. And the reason for that was you can get off Max Ghost, and then when the defense is lowered, then you can hit it harder with Behemoth Blade. But I just wanted max speed Dragapult. I thought that was a lot safer. Also, if you look at my team, it's really weak to Palkia. And in the IC, I faced one Palkia team, which I really couldn't do anything versus because I'm pretty weak to it, and I just ended up losing. But I faced another Palkia team where I was just able to helping hand in max moves with Dragapult and just O-code everything, which was pretty satisfying. And it was also the last game that I played was literally just Blastoise clicking Helping Hand into Dragapult and Dragapult OHKOing everything in a Palkia team, which was really satisfying because my Palkia matchups is really bad. And my friend Austin, I was like, dude, Palkia is really good in this meta, and he actually brought Palkia to the IC, so I was like, that was pretty satisfying. Also, me and Austin played a practice best of 3 before this IC, and I ended up losing to his Palkia team. His Palkia team is really cool. It's like Palkia, Glastrier, Metagross, Porygon 2, Incin, and another Mon that I don't remember, but it's a really really good team. And I was happy to win the last game with the Palkia team. So let's talk about some of my matches. I have so much to talk about this team because I spent so long building it. Also, I was testing this team on Showdown and I got it to top 10 on Showdown, which I'm pretty sure most of you watching have seen that already. But yeah, like top 10 on Showdown ladder is really really good. And yeah, also I got top 10 when Thundurus was on this team over Dragapult, and Dragapult is better on this team than Thundurus. So I feel like Dragapult can like get me further, but yeah. So let's talk about some of my matches. So my first match was against a Porygon 2, Dialga, like Rotom Heat, that kind of team. And if you look at Dialga in Trick Room, it kind of just destroys my team, right? So basically, my plan was I was going to play this positioning game, get a yawn off into Dialga, and once the Trick Room runs out, I wanted to Gigantamax Urshifu, and Gigantamax Urshifu plus Zacian should be able to clean their team up. And it worked perfectly. I was able to get a yawn off with Blastoise. Turn 1, I was able to Will-O-Wisp their Rillaboom, and I was able to just play this slow game until Blastoise Dragapult went down, Dialga was asleep, Trick Room ran out, and then Urshifu Gigantamaxed, and then Zacian plus Urshifu just cleaned their team. Also, they had 4 Mons left, we had 2 Mons left, and we're still able to clean their team, which was really cool, right? Because you normally don't see Urshifu Gigantamax, but again, this team has so many different layers, which is what makes it really good. Because, like, on surface, right, you look at it and you be like Blastoise Colossal, right? And then Zacian in the back. Or you'd be like Dragapult, Zacian, Urshifu in the back, plus like Rillaboom or maybe Blastoise. But no, this team has a lot of different dimensions. And also another cool dimension of this team is you can lead like Blastoise, Urshifu, Gigantamax the Blastoise, get off a bunch of cannonades, chip stuff down with Zacian and the cannonade, and once everything is chipped down through the cannonade, Urshifu clicking its moves, Zacian clicking its moves, assuming Blastoise is still alive, you can bring Colossal in the black click, Aqua Jet, and then just Heat Wave everything, right? Because the cannonade has chipped everything down, which is also why I like Blastoise over Urshifu Rapid Strike, because you can use the cannonade to chip everything down, and then late game you can just Aqua Jet yourself and then Heat Wave everything because everything's been chipped down, which I felt like was really important. Also, Will-O-Wisp on Dragapult really good. And then my second game, I don't really remember my second game, but on day 1 I went 5-0, But the fifth game was really interesting. So they led Kyogre Grimmsnarl as I led a Colossal Blastoise. But then turn one, I went for Max Guard and Yawn, and then he went for Thunder. He went for Light Screen and then I think like Origin Pulse or something. But then next turn he Thunder Waved his own Kyogre, right? So I was like, ooh, what if Kyogre gets paralyzed, right? But I still went for the Vocalith because I thought that was the best play. But Vocalith just ended up critting, and then he ended up rage quitting. So, yeah. And then on day one, like 40 minutes in, I was like 5-0, right? So I was like, everyone around my rating is gonna be super good, right? So I decided to wait off for 2 days, and on day three, after a few hours passed, that's when I started my grind. I went 3-3, and the first battle I on day three, like my first six battles, and the first battle I lost, I like completely misplayed, but like I didn't really tilt. And after I went 3-3, I kind of popped off, and then I lost only one battle in between to the Palkia team. Yeah, I lost one battle to the Palkia team, and I was able to climb all the way up to 1650, which I think is enough of a rating. So yeah, this is how the IC went, and this is my team. I feel like there's so much more I can talk about this team because there's so many different layers. But let's talk about specific matchups. So for the Kyogre Tornadus or Kyogre Grimmsnarl, which I feel like Kyogre Grimmsnarl is actually better than Kyogre Tornadus because Grimmsnarl can Scary Face and Fake Tears or Thunder Wave, right? And it still gives more bulk to Kyogre. So yeah, for those matchups, you just go for Max Guard and Yawn, right? And then next turn you go for Vocal with Aqua Jet. And if Colossal goes down at that point, you bring out Rillaboom to threaten the Kyogre. And then you still have like Zacian or Urshifu in the back, depending on matchup. There's some matchups where you want Urshifu over Zacian, simply because the Focus Sash and Sucker Punch is more useful than Zacian. But yeah, so that's how you deal with rain. You lead a Colossal Blastoise, get off the Vocalith, maybe a Yawn Max Guard, and then you have Rillaboom plus either Urshifu or Zacian in the back. For the Sun matchup, it really depends on what they have, but you sometimes lead Blastoise or Urshifu, or you lead Drago Pull to Zacian, or even lead Blastoise Dragapult, right? Bait out the Vine Lash and then go straight into Zacian, and then you have Airstream up, and then after that you're in a good position. Also, another really good thing about so in this meta, a really annoying thing is that if you get the lead matchup wrong, you're in a really bad position. A lot of the time, you just straight up lose the game, or you have to make a really tough read, right? But for this team, most people look at this team and be like, Blastoise Colossal is the main mode. I need to stop Colossal, right? And then you look at their team and be like, okay, this is what they're gonna lead to stop the Colossal. And then you be like, okay, if they lead this to stop Colossal, what can we lead to stop that? And that gives us a really big advantage. Like throughout the IC, I was able to predict my opponent's leads really well just because of this Blastoise Colossal threat, which is another reason I have Colossal on this team, right? Because Colossal, other than Vocalith, I don't like it that much in this meta, but its main role is to force out a specific lead from the opponent. And if you can force out a specific lead, since this meta is so lead important, you can pretty much just run away with the game. Also, another cool thing about Colossal, so in the Sun matchup, you can have like Zashi and Dragapult, right? And then sometimes in the back, I have Blastoise Colossal, and the goal of it is if we chip down a Sun team, right? Like say it's like Torkoal, Venusaur, Zacian, and that kind of stuff, right? And you chip down the Torkoal a bit, then Blastoise Colossal in the late game, you can just click Aqua Jet and then just Heat Wave everything in the Sun, and it'll just knock everything out, which happened in one of my games. So yeah, overall, this team has a ton of different dimensions. Like a lot of the time, and also, all these mons have specific roles when you max them. Like, Rillaboom is really good as a max mon into the Calyrex matchup, assuming they don't have Thunders, which I ran into one, and I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna max Rillaboom, start clicking Quakes, and then I'll be pretty much fine in this game. So yeah, Blastoise can be a really good max, Dragapult can be a really good max, Colossal is a really good max, even Urshifu in that one game is a really good max. So to play this team, first of all, you look at what can they lead against Colossal Blastoise and you counter it? And then you look at, okay, which Mon do I need to max? Because a lot of different Mons on this team can max. Like, Dragapult has a role outside of max. It 1v1s Torkoal in the late game, right? Which our team isn't that good into Torkoal. So yeah. Overall, this team is about identifying what beats Blastoise Colossal and counter leading it. And then being like, okay, which Mon do I max? and what benefits is that Maxmon going to give me to my overall team. So yeah, this team is really, it's a really high level team to play in my opinion, but it's really, really, really good. I'll be leaving a Pokepaste in the description and a rental code because I did make a rental code, and hopefully you guys enjoy. I spent a long time building this team, so hopefully you guys enjoy. Last Players Cup I had like DC problems, or else I would have brought this to a Players Cup 3, but yeah. Have a great day, and thanks for listening to my like. I don't even know what I was saying. I was just saying stuff as it comes to my mind because the team is so complex. Okay, that's it for me now, and bye bye.